weeks leading up to this, and your support has been really comforting and really helpful, so thank you. And guys, just thank you so much all for coming. This is awesome. It's a huge milestone in my arts life, and many of you supported me along the way, and especially my husband Andrew and daughter Ariadne. You guys believed in my work and what I was doing, even when I wanted to throw it out the window and set it and myself on fire. And my daughter is pretty much my biggest fan, and that's in her own words. And it's very hard to stay depressed in the face of such delight and encouragement and enthusiasm. So to make it here now to my first solo exhibition, while I am nervous, is also fantastically awesome. So thank you for coming and supporting me. And creativity has been in my veins probably since I started existing. Colour names were part of my early words that I learnt, and drawing and colouring kept me occupied as a toddler while my bio dad went through leukemia treatment. By kindy time, when I grew up, I wanted to be an artist and a gymnast, which I'm also actually currently getting to do now, yay dreams. And I went on in my teen years to study visual arts. Then I had a hiatus because life gets in the road. And then fast forward to several years ago when I was able to start pursuing painting as a career. By the time my daughter started going to kindy, that's when I started to try painting again and see where it would lead. I have been lucky to be in group exhibitions, local and online national galleries, and now here with my first solo exhibition, so I'm basically just living my best kindy art dream life. And for a long time, I've been attracted to the still life genre. The capturing of celebratory moments in time with perishable items of fruit, flowers, other food items and objects shows the moment of beauty with things that will decay. And this to me seems to sum up the overarching experience of life, finding the times of joy in the fleeting years that you have. Still life always struck me as a poignant painting style, even if in history it has been derided as the lowest form of art by the French Arts Academia in the 17th century. I am fine with being the lower class bogan of the arts world. Thankfully though, still life has moved on and up in the world since then. And knowing my attraction to still life, it made sense that when I started to explore painting for real, that I would start to explore in this style. And that was roughly 2018 when my daughter went to kindy. So it began by wanting to understand the concept of spiritual fruit in the Bible. Why not paint symbolic physical fruit? This brought about love, a spiritual fruit, which is one of the pieces on the back wall there, and other pieces in that collection which have since sold. Using fruit to symbolize ideas allows me to paint the harder things in life that I've faced without reopening the pain every time. It's like being able to turn the issue or trauma or problem into a physical object that I can take out, hold up to the light, analyze it from multiple angles, aim to understand it, then heal from it and be restored. Representing complex feelings and ideas as a simple fruit helps remove the problem from my personal sphere. It's as if it's a concept or an idea that I'm looking at, symbolizing it as a fruit gives a physical form to the idea, which helps my brain to process and grasp it. And this can be seen in pieces like Urban Whimsy, which this piece here, the two pairs symbolize my daughter and I as I parented the best I could through postnatal depression. Or in A Tulip by Any Other Name, which is there, the oddly shaped objects are rendered with beautiful colours and symbolise that despite my oddities of being a round peg in a square hole, I am still beautiful and have a place in life. And in Still Life, Still Death, one of the large skull pieces over there, it was painted to help me overcome my fear of death. The skull is small, unrealistic and slightly faded, while life is represented by the overly large, vibrant fruit. Life is greater than death. I don't paint in realism or in the abstract, but rather somewhere unique in between. I use fruit too abstractedly for realism, but I need a real physical object to ground and give concrete shape to my abstract feelings. However, I have actually been known to observe and paint real fruit from time to time, and I rounded out this exhibition with two such examples, albeit still with my quirky touches. These are a golden fruit here, and a moment in time which is next to the giant skull piece. From the technical side of things, I am a very naughty artist, but I know why, so that is allowable. I was taught the foundational rules of traditional painting. Generally, you don't use pure colour straight from the paint tube. For example, painting an apple involves mixing your reds with greens and browns and maybe some yellows on the palette in small changing colour increments to best mimic the apple realistically. I learnt this and know the reason for it, but not being a realistic painter, I said to heck with this and will use my paint straight from the tube. My apple will be a mid-red all over and a brighter orange-based red for the highlights and a deeper purpley-based red for the lowlights. About as much red as you can get in that red apple, that's what I'm going to put in there. I mostly use the warm version of colours. My favourite colour palette is orange and yellow, green and blue, or what I call the citrus colours, orange, lemon, lime, plus deep sky blue. My daughter's influence can be seen sneaking in over the years now. You'll see some pastel paintings up on the little solo fruit pieces in this wall here. She loves pastel colours, and over the years her colour palette has snuck through, and it's only enhanced my painting practice, and I love to include her colours now in it as well. I actually find it slightly interesting that as I've included her paint colours into my painting and my wardrobe, it's almost like it's allowed me to also express the gentler, softer, more compassionate side of my nature too, which only makes it better for everyone around. Now I do use the 3 primary colours as well, and in pigment that's red, yellow, blue, but I use them such that the yellows are the light tones, the red are the mid-tones, and the blue are the dark tones. Consequently, if you view my paintings in grayscale, there's not much tonal difference, but that's not my aim. I like to paint in full saturated colours, as that's pretty much how I live life in the flesh, expressively and with vibrant fullness. Using colour in this way also allows me to tackle the more awful life experiences from the other side, the healed and whole side. Yes, I want to deal with the trauma through painting it, but I don't want to remain stuck in it and wallow in it, and my vibrant colour choices reflect that. I also use acrylics, they're my paint of choice, as that plastically vivid colour style of acrylics suit my art style. And I'm way too impatient to wait for oils to dry, and I end up turning them to mud. I also can't stand the feel of turps when you have to wash them off. And I managed to turn watercolours to mud too, so I feel like acrylics forgive all of my painting flaws. So basically, how I live, as you've heard, shows through on the canvas. Having had the turning point in my life years ago of following Jesus definitely contributes to being able to heal from trauma and take a hopeful perspective on life. And my aim is to put some hope on the canvas so others may feel uplifted if they're stuck in the crap too. And so this exhibition culminates my symbolistic fruit painting obsession. However, it hasn't ended it. I will always paint pieces in this way as it's part of my artistic voice, but I've also started to experiment with new ways to express my ideas. Blind contour, continuous line portraits, and mixed media pieces with wool, paper collage, and thread on the canvas are becoming more common in my arts practice, so I look forward to seeing what creative works that produces. For now, though, this exhibition stands as a capsule snapshot of these last several years of unfolding life. I spent this season using real-life objects in an unreal way to symbolically and colourfully explore ideas, experiences and concepts in an effort to process and understand them and so relate to the world around me. In doing this, I hope that as others view my art, they feel allowed to see a piece of their own life on the canvas as an experiential connection point and maybe pick up a touch of hope and healing in their lives too. As you wander around, you'll notice QR codes that accompany each artwork. Please feel free to use the free Wi-Fi connection here. It's TRC Public Library. Because if your phone is like my phone, it is turned into an incompetent brick and doesn't get reception. So there is a short video link with each of the QR codes describing and explaining what each of the pieces mean and stand for. So I also don't mind though if you see something totally different in the picture than what I express. That is the beauty of an art conversation. It's three-way between the artist, the canvas and the viewer. And seeing as though I paint in the Bowden class of the still life genre, I am not going to snobbily judge your art perception. Now, if you feel like you too would like to be mildly fruit obsessed for a session, I'm running a one-off workshop for adults and kids over the age of 9 on Saturday the 18th of May as part of this exhibition. And we're going to be using painted patterned paper, say that quickly, to collage ourselves some fun fruity delights. I've got some examples over on the table there, and you can chat to Karen if you're interested in trying that and booking that in. But in the meantime, thank you so very much for listening. Does anyone have anything they want to ask? I may be able to form a slightly pithy and sensible reply for you. Otherwise, if not, enjoy the exhibition.
Wonderful. Does anybody have any questions? Now's your time.
Or you can